Here live, and today I'm going to be doing a review that I haven't done ever. I don't think I ever review a lens that is not either a Voigtlander or a Japanese lens, or of course, Leica lenses. I've actually reviewed a bunch of lenses here in the channel, and I have kind of like a thing. I even though I try to try as many lenses as I can get a hold of, I just have a hard time putting lenses that are not Leica lenses on my Leica cameras. And Voigtlander are lenses that I also, use frequently. I love the build quality. I kind of like have a thing for Japanese and German lenses, Nikkor, some of the vintage lenses, and even Russian lenses. But I've never put in my camera a lens from China that I've actually enjoyed or kind of like love to have in the camera. So I'm going to show you what I have here with me. You're going to look at this lens and you're going to think, oh, okay, that's 75 millimeter, some new lens from Leica. No, it's not. And this lens is actually from this company. They reached out to me and they told me, hey, we have a lens that we want you to test out. It's a 75 millimeter f1.25. And I was like, I cannot promise reviewing the lens. If the lens has merit, I do the video, but I just don't want to mislead anyone into a lens that I may not be kind of like keen to recommend to myself. But I have to say that I'm a little bit confused right now in terms of where optics stand these days for lenses, because this lens is probably one of the most amazing 75 millimeter lenses that I've tried. And it's not a Leica, it's not a Voigtlander, it's not a vintage lens. It's a lens by this company. They are 7 Artisan, right? So I've heard that name before, but I have to be honest with you guys. I always thought they were kind of like low quality lenses. And oh boy, I don't know what they have done in the past, but what I can tell you is that this 75 millimeter lens is built kind of like a Leica lens. It even looks, it's not identical to a Leica lens, but it's actually fast. And the Leica counterpart is huge. The 75 millimeter from Leica is actually huge. I actually have a Summilux on the way, by the way. I just found one. And but again, that one is a f1.4. There's not going to be a lot of difference. It's an older optical design. But take a look at this lens. I wish I could actually show you, but I'm streaming from the phone, and I'm going to put more hours with this lens. I just wanted to give you my thoughts and tell you guys a little bit about this lens. So for what I've known, because there's a lot of things here in Chinese, and I don't understand very well. I think this lens is actually aspherical, so it may have a spherical element. Don't quote me on that. But the image quality coming out of this lens is really good. The bokeh is amazing. And one thing that surprises me about this lens, being someone that is into manufacture, metal, leather, is the tight tolerances that this lens has. The aperture, I don't know if you can hear this, my mic is here. It's just so clicky. Now, one thing that you have to see is that the aperture kind of like goes from big gaps right here, f1.25, f1.4, 2, 3, and then it starts piling up really quick to f16. But the most amazing thing about this lens is going to be the size. It's actually small for being a 75 millimeter. So if you're familiar with the Leica counterpart, that lens is actually massive. It's even bigger than the Summilux 50, if I'm not wrong. But this lens from 7 Artisan is actually really good. The bokeh, I can't wait to put more hours, probably take it on the street and do a bunch of a bunch of photos. And the other thing is that look at the aperture. That aperture is really round, which means that the bokeh is going to be round, not jagged. Look at that. And again, the actuation is good. So I think that we have reached a time where a $5,000 lens or $6,000 lens, or like the 75 that is, I believe, $15,000 lens, may not have a wide gap like back in the days with lenses produced by other brands elsewhere. And I would want to put this lens versus the f1.25 Leica version. I'm sure there's going to be some difference, but is that difference worth? I don't even know how much this lens is because they just sent it to me. I think they are about to release it. I don't think this lens has been released. Again, I got this lens. I shot with a lens. I got so excited. I just looked at the images. I'm like, I cannot believe this lens. It's not made by Leica, for example, because of the size. Now, the other thing that you have over here is, the distance scale and minimum focusing distance, 0.8, which is actually really good, for a 75 millimeter. You don't need closer than that. And I love it. It's probably slightly bigger than the 50 millimeters 2023 from Leica, the aspherical f1.4. But again, this is f1.25, and it is at 75 millimeter, which it produces an outstanding bokeh. Again, the focus is so smooth, so smooth. I don't want to say that this lens is better than any of the Leica glass that I have, but I would have to actually put this head to head with a 75 to really determine how much difference there is right now between a very expensive lens and a cheap lens, because this company is not known for making expensive lenses. And that's the reason why I said, look, send me the lens, I'll check it out. If I like it, I make a review. Well, I got to the point that I didn't even get to make the review. I just have to communicate this via live because it got me really excited. And I don't think that there has been any type of situation where I've been kind of like pumped to review a non-Leica or Voigtlander or vintage lens. Here is the first time. And one of the things that I'm admired is that, I don't know what they did, but they managed to fit 75 millimeter in this small form factor. Now I have another 75 millimeter that has similar aperture from Voigtlander, and that lens is actually Leica. I looked through the Leica version and it was insane. Insane about the price or insane about the image quality. Just let me know in the comment what you meant there. So the Voigtlander is a little bit lighter and I think it's a little bit longer. Now this lens is hefty. There's a lot of glass here. I don't know. This lens is probably heavier than the 50 millimeter 2023 version. If you're familiar with a lens, it's not as heavy as a Noctilux 50 0.95, but probably getting closer to that range. There's a lot of glass here, and I can't wait just to do that review and on an EV. Okay, so let me actually see the chat, what you're saying there, because live chat or messages are